Alright. And we're good. Fat hits. Welcome to the Whiskey and Wieners podcast. This is episode 11 after our small hiatus because, as previously stated, we're busy dudes.
Yeah. No.
Extremely busy.
Not that busy, but...
Hey, man, we got a routine.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was gone for 5 days.
Yeah. Doing army man stuff. With the National Guard.
My confidence in their ability to do stuff is very weak.
Yeah. I mean, that's understandable based off of what you told me. A bunch of fucking out-of-shape people that took 10 years to fucking shoot a truck. A whole truck. Which is insane.
At one point, we were giving them 225 rounds for 2 targets.
They were just...
Sucking.
I'm curious what it looked like. So was there like a big, dirt mound behind it or something?
So it's a driving range. Where they drive on a road because they were gun trucks.
Yeah.
And they drive on a road and the target pops. They say their little target, 600 meters. Commander says fire, you go on the way. You fire at it, you hit it. You take 1, maybe 2 bursts depending on distance because the rounds have tracers so you can see where they're hitting.
Yeah.
And then they just couldn't make it happen, man.
Even especially I didn't.
They had optics. They had thermal optics.
When you told me that the first time, I'm surprised. You didn't tell me that they had tracers too. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, dude.
So all you gotta do is partially adjust.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it would be.
It's not super hard. I've done it.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I've never done it before, but it doesn't sound. I mean, if you can at least see where they're going, I mean, you can you think you'd be able to correct.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the tracers. It's every 5th bullet.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
So you're just defending the country, folks. Actually, no, that's just National Guard people.
Yeah, they're just defending, basically foreign interests.
Yeah, just lame.
Yeah, it's pretty gay.
Going to Ukraine or wherever. Where were they going?
The Middle East.
Middle East. Wasn't it kind of close though?
Yeah.
Syria, hanging out with all the.
Well, they'll be in Kuwait.
Okay.
There's a legit army base there.
Are they Kuwaiting to go into Ukraine?
Kuwait's apparently super sick. I haven't been, but I know people that have, and they said it's basically like any other army base. It's just in a desert.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, which is like Fort Irwin, but they're also like in the Middle East. So.
Fort Irwin? Where's that?
It's in the Mojave.
Oh, that's where you went.
Yeah, that's where I went.
It's like Fallout New Vegas. Irwin?
Yeah.
Aren't they all named after generals?
Yes and no.
Okay. That one's named after Steve Irwin.
Yeah, the crocodile hunter.
Honorary.
Yeah. Military
base.
Yeah, Stewart was named after...
Stuart Little.
Fuck.
It's like, that's my favorite book as a child.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of people that are like obscure generals that did things that nobody remembers unless you're a big history buff, and I am not. Like, I know stuff, but like I don't go super into it like some of my friends.
Yeah, I mean, I like history, but I'm not like, I mean, I don't know who General Stewart is, but I just like, I'm more of like a, like military, like certain parts of military history is cool, and then like ancient world history I'm always into.
Oh yeah,
because it's always really interesting.
The stuff they did was crazy back then.
It was really, it was really impressive. I mean, there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, I don't know how the fuck that was done, but like, because there's like theories that like the pyramids and stuff were actually there like a lot longer. Maybe not the pyramids, maybe like the Sphinx. Like, is there signs of the Sphinx? It's like where like the rot off or whatever of the nose.
Yeah.
Something to do with like it only something like that. The way it basically came off, the way that it disintegrated, or whatever. Only that's from water damage. I guess that's the marks that it left. Water damage is the only thing that can leave those particular kind of marks.
Right, and that doesn't make sense.
No, No, unless like, I mean, that's when you go into the whole like, extinction level events that, I definitely think have happened multiple times throughout history. The most recent one being that, what is it called? Like the Younger Dryas or something like that. One like 12,000 years ago, like an asteroid hit somewhere. It wasn't the dinosaur one, I don't think.
No. There was. I've read theories.
No, dinosaurs was way like millions and millions.
65 million.
Yeah.
And some change. But there's been theories that like the human population was like ridiculously big at one point, and we hit like an extinction level event, and then got knocked back to like our the areas that were defended from it, which are always like the fertile valleys, like big giant riverbed valleys. So. Yeah,
I was watching this thing once with this guy. I think his name was, what was his name? Randall Carlson. He's like a earth scientist guy or whatever, geologist and stuff like that. But and because there's like a lot of he showed pictures and stuff in the thing I was watching. It was like a document. I don't remember what it's called, but a lot of places that like have like flood lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That are, I mean, there's not really any water around, because they think like basically that Younger Dryas meteor hit an ice sheet like up in the north. And just threw all this fucking ice and water into the atmosphere. It caused like a flood, which would make sense because like there is a tale of like a flood in most religions in one form or another.
Like a flood that was rememberable.
Yeah, enough to like show up consistently, which I think is like way more of a, I don't think that's a coincidence. Like why would all of them talk about it unless like they had heard it from.
They're the people that wrote the book.
That passed it down to him. That passed, I'm curious how, like...
Because, like, Christianity's only, 3,000 years old?
Yeah, something like that.
Like 2,000 and some change. It's been a minute since I've read about it. But it's, because all culture before that, that's when, that's written human history is a very small point in time in human history. So, the verbal stories, and only, big cataclysmic events like that would be passed down to that extent.
Yeah.
To make it from verbal
word
history.
Word of mouth, or, even cave. Because they've even found, cave carvings and things like that kind of, show that there was some, kind of flood that happened.
Yeah, because the human language hasn't always been, as simple as it is. Written language is a very new thing.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a way you can lock this thing. I can't remember what side it's on.
I don't know. That's your chair. So.
That's my old one, I know. I thought there was a way you could fucking lock it. Oh, you, pushed it in. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, you're fucking struggling.
Push it in. Push it in.
But yeah, I love thinking about that because it's, we're at this point. Eventually, it's gonna
happen again.
It's gonna restart. It always does.
All the time, they're oh yeah, there's an asteroid passing. I mean, we're kind of lucky. I mean, look at the moon. The moon's covered. The moon's just gotten nailed.
Yeah, the only thing that saves us is our atmosphere because it burns up all the little ones before we can even perceive them from the ground.
Yeah, but it's crazy. People don't realize how how much damage not even that big of an asteroid could do.
Oh yeah, we're not even that far from a meteorite belt, so it's not a far-fetched idea. We've just been very lucky.
Yeah. What's that meteorite belt called again? There's a name for it. What the fuck is it? It's
I can look it up.
Yeah.
Jamie.
The Jamie belt. Oh
no,
Jamie from Joe. No. Yeah. No, there's a word for it. I can't remember what it is, but. Yeah. No, it's bound to happen again, and it makes you wonder.
It's asteroid belt. That's all it says.
Oh, I thought there was a name for it.
Well, a lot of the asteroids have names because they're moon-sized.
Yeah, but I thought there was a general term for that belt in particular. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's out there. And yeah, dude, dudes are coming in fast, just constantly passing us by. And they're yeah, this one's missing us by 100, like, I don't know how many thousands and thousands and thousands of kilometers, but, like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that
far.
You know, and, like, one, like, the size of, like, a semi-truck, if that hit somewhere, that would fucking...
That's, like, bigger than a nuclear bomb. Fuck up.
Yeah.
Especially if it hits somewhere, like, volatile. Like, if one hit Yellowstone Park, that'd be fucked.
Oh, like the super volcanoes that's there and stuff.
Yeah,
if that volcano erupted, it would end the world.
Oh, yeah, it probably never will, though. It's pretty dormant.
Yeah.
It's like a separate pocket, so it doesn't really build that much pressure.
That's crazy to think about, though, that could just happen at any time.
Oh, yeah, we're real close to it.
Well, just the fact that there's all these super mega volcanoes at, like, different places in the earth, you know, both on the surface and in the ocean. You know, if they were to go off, like, the amount of shit that it would throw. Because basically what happens when that, you know, explodes is one of those super volcanoes is it just throws ash up and shit up so much up into the atmosphere. It basically creates a coating around the earth.
Which sends us into an ice age.
Which blocks the sun, which sends us into an ice age and everything. Yeah. It'd be a rough way to go. It would suck.
Yeah, if the initial blast didn't kill you.
Yeah.
It's like fallout from a nuclear weapon, but on a global scale.
Yeah. Yeah.
There would be like volcanic rain all over North America and South America.
Yeah, that's what I'm pretty sure the stuff I've read about it, though, with that kind of thing happening, what kills the majority of people is afterwards.
Yeah.
With, you know, because the impact or explosion or whatever, whether it's because an impact from an asteroid does the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it throws shit up into the atmosphere.
On such a scale that it just fucks shit up globally.
Yeah. Which is insane to think about.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a fragile place that's gotten lucky for a long time, but then again, who knows? I mean, who knows how many, like, valleys and things like that, you know, or on the Earth were caused.
A lot of
you know, because the moon has, like, nothing on it. It's like all one color basically, so that's why, you know, it's so easy to see. Well, it's
because the moon's core is almost completely cooled.
Yeah,
like it has a separate core. Like just like how we have a molten core, theirs is almost solid now, which is what got rid of their atmosphere and all that.
Yeah. But it's like you can see how, you know, fucked up it is from all the craters and stuff, and they're just everywhere. But Earth, like, you can't really see. Then again, there's so much of the Earth that's covered in water. You know, who the fuck knows? You know, what the shit looks like. I mean, what do they say? Like 90% of the ocean is still unexplored or something like that.
Yeah, we know very little.
That's wild.
It's like when we watch Will Smith's The Earth.
Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
insane.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me, that's kind of stuff I'm like.
But there's evidence that the Gulf of Mexico was formed from an asteroid impact.
It kind of is weirdly like, yeah, like carved out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Just fucking ripped chunk out. Yeah, it's fuck, I was gonna say something. I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. But no, it's wild shit. About we were talking something about the oceans. Yeah, that makes me like wonder, like, you know, legit sea monsters hanging out. Like, I mean, I know there's like giant squids and stuff.
And those are freaky.
I mean, you know, back in the day, I mean, pirates and sailors and things like that always, you know, told stories of sea monsters and.
Well, I just think back in the day, everything was bigger. Because you ever seen, like, a true old-growth forest? Like,
no.
There are trees that exist, like, deep in the rainforest that put redwoods to shame.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because they're just so fucking old. So, that's why alligators used to be fucking massive.
Yeah.
Like, we think, like, a 20-foot gator now is huge because it's big. But they used to be bigger than, like, a city bus.
Yeah.
Because everything was just bigger back then.
Like that fucking big-ass tree in Elden Ring.
Yeah, it's like as we take stuff out, like as like new species move in and stuff like humans and whatnot, like when we start to harvest resources for ourselves for survival, just like any other species does, it limits what other creatures have. So over time, through evolution, like not just humans, but the environment in general has had a direct impact on the size of certain creatures and certain things. Like, we could let these trees fucking grow for the next 500 years if they get everything they need. They'll just keep going.
Yeah. I mean, that's like how, I mean, it was like, in prehistoric times, like, everything was way bigger. Like, fucking bugs and shit were huge, and,
There's a lot of people that think this specific plateau out in the middle of the desert is a remnant of, like, an ancient giant tree, when it's really just like I guess it's like just a hollow volcanic system, but, like, it looks like roots.
Yeah.
Like, it's all stone. A lot of people think it's like a petrified, massive tree.
There's
would have been visible from the moon.
There's those like, plateaus out in the desert, that you see that are really flat, like rise up, and they're really flat on the top, and it kind of looks like, a giant tree stump if it was like rock.
Yeah.
So, and those things are fucking insanely huge.
There are people that there's theories and like cultures about how the mountains are just the remains of ancient trees and forests.
Yeah.
But like
I know, like, I mean, I always thought that stuff was because like tectonic plates moving and stuff.
Yeah, that's what science says, but like it talks about how like the Rockies are a pretty new mountain range, but like the Appalachian Mountains and the Rockies are on the same continent.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just weird that the Appalachians are on like their third cycle and they're just getting smaller and smaller.
I don't know if continents aren't like, or continents themselves aren't like where the plate lines are though.
No, not really. There are a few fault lines.
They're kind of just everywhere. They can be anywhere.
Yeah, but there's major like plates, and then there's minor plates.
The tectonic plates. Yeah. Well, that's, I mean,
I don't know. I haven't studied fucking tectonic plates since high school.
I just remember how, like, it's really easy too when you just look at a map and you can see how shit used to kind of fit together.
Yeah.
And what they call Pangea or whatever. We're all looking at before, like...
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense until you look at, like I was pointing out, the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Like, how did that form?
But there's, like... I mean, that's how, like... Because they found there's, like, bones... There's certain, like, fossils of certain animals in, like, South America that are also in Africa.
Oh, yeah.
And, like... And those, like, two look like they were, like, fit. I mean, it looks like it fit perfectly. Like, the right side of, like, where Brazil is, that point, goes, like, right up underneath that one... The left side of Africa's like armpit area.
Yeah, you look at like northeastern Canada, it looks like the islands would fit pretty well into like Europe and like Britain and stuff.
Yeah, all those like it's weird when you look at the northern part of Canada and all those islands up there. That looks like it could be just like remains of like a like it could have been a whole thing at one point. And that's like a bunch of shit got wrecked.
And got fucked up and broken.
And it looks like, like the top of it just kind of like is exploded into little pieces.
Yeah.
Same thing with like, I mean, Alaska and stuff, how that trail goes out. I mean, that used to be like the Bering Strait, what they called it?
Yeah.
No. Was that it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like the
land bridge or whatever. Yeah. We're like the first people, because they say like they came from like Russia or Asia or something like that. And I came from the north and just like moved their way down. That's wild. People just were hoofing it.
Yeah, they start because
Russia,
all life on the planet, that all human origin that we can trace as far back as we can comes from the Middle East area.
Yeah. Well, our most recent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and it's weird that like
records.
To talk about.
Who knows before that? That could have been like where stuff started popping off after the last mass extinction event.
Yeah, that's because. Why else would the Middle East, which is just a huge natural resource area, also be like the cradle of humanity for resources we wouldn't use for like 3,000 years?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's weird. That seems like some future shit we would do is like pool our resources in one area if we know we're gonna get fucking bombed.
Yeah.
Get shit on by an extinction event. Just pool our resources in one area, and that's where we put the last like stand.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and those were smart motherfuckers too. I mean, when you look at the alignment of like the pyramids, how they can align like perfectly to like stuff to do with like certain stars and the solstice or something like that. Like they perfectly align to them, which is crazy for structures that are that big
and that old.
Yeah, and like the whole like Stonehenge and other like ancient structures are wild shit. There's
so no, okay, never mind.
There's what the hell was it? There's something I can't remember where it is, but it is these stones that are like fit perfectly into each other. Like the lines are so fine, like it looks like they had to be cut. Which is crazy, but the lines are like the way they fit within each other are so perfect. Like
I think it's in South America or Central America.
Yeah,
it's a temple that you can't even fit like a piece of paper into it.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be like impossible with that technology they had back then.
Yeah.
Which means we are grossly underestimating how old that structure is.
Yeah. I mean, it was obviously pre back then, maybe from a far more advanced civilization. But and there's so many times throughout history that we could have lost those records. I mean, the burning of the Library of Alexandria definitely comes to mind. I'm sure a lot of important shit was lost.
There's a lot of ancient knowledge just never got translated as languages evolved.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that was translated from an ancient form of Roman Latin, like early Latin. That like nobody. It was like how Latin is now. How like the Latin that Romans spoke is extinct now. Very few people know it.
Yeah.
That's how at the time the Romans had their own version of a few experts on an ancient language, and that's how they translated like religious texts and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why for the longest time, like the Christianity and Catholicism and all that wasn't available. Same with Islam, wasn't available to the general populace. Sorry, I'm about to fucking burp or something. Until like people started translating, and that started like a whole tizzy in all the churches.
Yeah,
they didn't want the common man to know the word.
Well, yeah,
but a lot of stuff was lost in translation.
Yeah, because I'm sure. Even people were just manipulating people with religion back then.
Oh yeah.
It's human nature. Sadly, when it comes to certain people, they can't get past that or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, and they're still doing it. It's like that pastor I told you about that was talking about how if you vote Democrat, you can't be a Christian.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah. No, it's just more like a cult, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
Most religions are anyways.
I can agree with the wanting to aspire to something like that.
Yeah.
Having like that ideal figure that was Christ.
Yeah.
But very few people actually try to embody that.
Oh, yeah. I would argue 99.9% of Christians do not.
It's just a guilt-free system for them,
yeah.
more or less.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. They say there's no hate like Christian love or something like that.
Yeah.
That's saying. That's a good one.
Yeah, Christianity is just Catholicism without the guilt.
Yeah. That's why I give more respect to Catholics. I'm like, at least you guys are like, at least you guys...
They have standards.
Yeah.
They might be prudish.
Plus, like, you don't pretend to not... You don't pretend to not sin, quote-unquote sin, like, Christians, they're like, I'd never sin or anything like that. Well, Catholics are like, I'll do whatever I want and just fucking say my Hail Marys and fucking...
Yeah, repent.
Yeah.
Repentance.
Yeah.
Which back in the day was wild. Like, people that were going to commit murder for the church, like, would repent with, like, you saw it in the Da Vinci Code.
I haven't seen that movie.
You haven't seen that movie?
No.
It'll blow your fucking mind. It's about this guy.
I know what it's about.
Oh, you read about it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's so nuts.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a great movie. But the guy, like, flails himself with, like, a chain.
Oh, yeah, flagellant.
Yeah.
That's what they call them.
Yeah, that's, like, because he was going to go kill that guy.
Yeah.
For the church. And, like, that's a thing that they've been doing for so long.
Yeah, flagellants. Yeah, flagellants were, like, a huge thing during, like, the Black Plague, too. They would go around and just, like, basically punish themselves for, like, the behest of others, I guess, or something like that.
And try to get back on God's good side.
Yeah. All I know is there's a flagellant in Darkest Dungeon, and he's a pretty good character. But yeah, he's got the whip and like a sick hood, and he like hurts himself to like buff himself and shit.
He gets a blessing from his what do they call them in Dungeons and Dragons when you have a spirit that's like giving you power?
I don't know.
I don't know. I know I've read it before. I'm sure I'll remember it later.
Yeah.
But it's like that. They were calling on that.
Yeah.
It's like when you make a pact with a spirit or whatever.
Yeah. Religion is interesting, but very harmful. Unfortunately, which is weird because you think it would be the opposite.
Well, it's weird because like that self-harm thing has been around for a while.
I just mean in general.
Religion. Well, I was gonna connect some dots.
Oh.
In a weird way that might not make sense, but
Let's see.
Religion has conditioned people that like self-harm, even like emotional harm with like admitting your guilt and all that stuff and saying your Hail Marys, has been going on for so long, and then there are people who self-harm now when they don't know what else to do, like not in a religious context, but it's interesting that like the human mind at some point of a switch was flipped. It was like I don't know what to do with like myself or my life, and then they use self-harm as like a conduit.
Pick up that knee. Yeah, that instinct. Weird instinct of self-punishment.
Yeah, it's like how long has like that been brainwashed into people? Because like that should be a natural. No animal does that.
No, yeah, no. It's well, I mean, too. And you almost wonder if it's like stuff that's embedded deep within like the collective unconscious. If you buy into that kind of thing, which I do.
Yeah.
But like people, having I guess flashbacks to, if you look like the old like Aztec societies and stuff like that, where they would they would literally have lines of people going up to a mountain and jumping in to appease like the god, like with like, and they were pumped on it too.
Yeah, that was their life's purpose.
Yeah, they were like, all right, guys, I'm up today, going in the fire and jumping in the volcano.
Goodbye, little Timmy.
To appease, the volcano gods for a good harvest this year or whatever. And you almost wonder if that kind of, thought goes into the collective unconscious and bleeds, into and manifests itself into like, forms of like self-harm today without consciously realizing that you're doing like...
You're trying to appease some unknown thing.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know if we came up with that theory. We're probably not that smart.
No, but I mean, it's interesting.
That's very interesting.
I think there's a lot of things that people do that are, direct result of just like stuff from the collective unconscious just kind of bleeding into people's minds.
Yeah, and that ties back into the cataclysmic events too. Because if your society was suddenly ended by nature and you're just like the remnants, you would fear the fuck out of nature. And you'd pass that on. Yeah,
like things that like, a lot of humans are instinctually scared of, like, especially like of the unknown or things like that. I think are,
you heard
that stuff just that comes in, and that it's just humanity's always been that way, and your mind's kind of plugged into that network at all times.
Yeah, it's in the collective unconscious is basically just our DNA.
Yeah.
If you think about it, our DNA is silently communicating in a way that we can't perceive, but it bleeds through.
Yeah. I gotta get a hold of we gotta get some like shrooms here soon. I haven't tripped in a while, in like
dude,
a couple of years.
So fucking down for that.
Yeah. I haven't tripped. It's probably been about 2 years since I've last tripped.
That'd be a good podcast.
Yeah. That kind of stuff though, man, I just like to... I'm not trying to focus on anything. I'm just...
No, that's fair.
I just want to close my eyes and, let whatever happens happen, Let myself be taught by the machine elves.
Yeah.
That's if you do DMT. But I had a friend that had I haven't talked to him in years, but he had a DMT extractor.
Yeah, you told me about him.
Yeah. That's when I did it. I've only done it once, but it was pretty intense. I mean, there's definitely something that your mind plugs into that, you know, is clearly like some kind of conduit of intelligence that is either, I think, I mean, I don't know what exactly manifests that intelligence.
I feel like
either.
it's probably extra dimensional.
Yeah. Because I mean, there's like shit you literally talk to, and it's like, well, clearly this is, you know, the foundation for a lot of religions.
Oh yeah.
You know, as people
That's
just eating, you know, like throughout history, is eating, you know, different kinds of, you know, mushrooms with psilocybin in them, or, you know, drinking teas with, you know, there's so many plants that
my mom used to regularly
psychedelic
drink
factors.
magic mushroom tea.
Yeah,
like regularly.
it's not something I would do a lot, but just because, I mean, you can kind of mess yourself up permanently by doing it too much. But yeah, it's I'll talk to my buddy, see if he knows anybody that's, because like I said, there's somebody I used to get him from, but I haven't talked to him in years. It was the guy that was down by what I was telling you about yesterday.
Yeah, I have that acquaintance that's of the Native American variety who can, because I want to go on a spirit walk, and he's talked about it a few times. So I told him if
like hero dosing.
No, like peyote.
Oh,
like a spirit walk.
Yeah, that's some wild stuff.
And I told him if he ever gets a chance to get his hands on it or stuff, let me know, because I would love to do it.
You can like pay fees, because the same friend that had
he can make it. I think he just has to get like the right license or something.
Yeah, well, hell, that dude I was telling you about that had the DMT extractor, he paid like $700 to become like a member of some kind of like Indian-based, like Native American Indian-based church, and he got like big shrooms and shit sent to him in the mail. Because
that might be what he has to do. I don't remember.
And this guy wasn't even Native American either.
Yeah.
He was just some white dude. But they were like, "Hey man, send us here's $700 for an entry to be a member of this church." It's basically a $700 license to be able to have psychedelic drugs sent to you in the mail. You know,
which, hey,
yeah, but I think it's per year.
Oh yeah, it most likely is.
So he did it for like a year, and you can only get, I think they would send him like, I don't know how many times they would send them to you, but it wasn't like an unlimited supply.
Yeah, no, it's like, because it does, like, they do have to like grow.
I think it was like one shipment a month or something like that.
Which would still be insane.
Yeah, and they were big shrooms. I mean, and they were, you know, and there were different kinds of psilocybin shrooms too, but that had different like intensity and different, you know, purposes. They sent them in these like really elaborate, like religious looking boxes and stuff with like all these cool, like fancy instructions that were like written very, I don't know other way to put it than like religiously.
Frivolously.
Yeah, like it was like you could tell they were like serious about it. Like it was just serious shit. You know, make sure to do this with like honor, and you know, don't be in a bad place. Obviously, you know, but
you do this as a noble warrior.
Yeah, pretty much.
That would be. I want to do a spirit walk. I feel like I would. I hope I experience something crazy.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I would probably do it. Those things last way longer than DMT, though.
Yes,
which is the only thing that could be.
Which I'm sure feels like years.
Oh yeah. I mean, even when I did DMT, which is like 10, 15 minutes, I was like, I couldn't even tell you how much time had passed. You know, when I was in that realm, I mean, time wasn't
relevant.
No, it wasn't like a thing anymore.
Well, time is like a human construct.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is really weird to think about.
Yeah, if you want to get into that, like, time is a thing that, like, is an integral part of the way our universe works, but it's 100% a human construct.
Yeah.
There was no sense of time before a certain period in time.
Yeah. It's just like the next day.
You're alive.
Yeah. But it wasn't like it's 3 o'clock today. It was like it's just today again.
Tomorrow.
The sun is in that quadrant. It's that time of the day. And then we gave it a number, an arbitrary number, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, humans created numbers to better understand the world. So we by doing that, we boxed ourselves into a dimension of numbers. So if you really think about it, when you're just taking like heavy psychedelics like DMT, you're just able to open your mind to a point to perceive the universe outside of the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like stuff like that.
Which back then, before we even had a concept of time, when they were just eating these mushrooms because they were there and they made them see things,
yeah,
that had to be insane, which is the base of religion.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's like they say, like the whole burning bush in the Moses story is like
and they talk about the
bush,
the
which makes you trip.
Yeah, and the eating of the mushrooms and
it's psychedelics are. I think like everybody should like at least do mushrooms once in their life. I think a lot of people would chill out if they did. Realize there's a lot more, to life than this earthly fighting,
Yeah.
And
maybe that's what we should do with the government controlled weather.
Yeah.
Just send up a shit ton of fucking psychedelics into the air, let it rain down, let everybody get fucked up for a few hours.
Mm-hmm. That's why they're illegal, I think. Psychedelics. I mean, there's some places. I think what's the one place decriminalized mushrooms? What was it? Was it Oregon or something?
Yes, because I think they legalized cocaine as well.
Yeah.
Which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. But I'm surprised they even went as far as to legalize mushrooms because I mean, like, basically, enough people start. Like the whole point of why they're legal is because they, make people realize that there's a lot more, to life than fighting with somebody on the internet or, it kind of keeps people locked in a train of thought. It never allows people to expand their minds in that way, which is a shame. Because Earth could definitely need it. There's a lot of closed-minded people.
Yeah, dude.
And people that are, it's black and white, and that's it. Not speaking racially, of course. I just mean like in terms of morality or whatever.
Right and wrong.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Like, why give yourself, like, I kind of try to live in a gray area.
Yeah, it's where the humanity like places limits on itself when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, why? What do you guys want to do that for? I don't know. I guess it's just a symptom of those that with the power be
millennia
to keep
institutionalized.
The order. Yeah. The last thing you want is a bunch of people with freed minds. That are enlightened.
When they're the majority.
Yeah. Because then they're like, why are we doing all this? Why don't we figure out a different way to operate?
That's why people that have spoken up like that throughout history just get murdered.
Yeah.
Like, even back in the ancient times. If you were like, why are we doing it your way? Why don't we try this? They're just like, you have a different opinion? You don't like my control? Dead.
Yeah. I mean, like, even like certain religious figures, I mean, Jesus, for example, who I think was like an actual person, but not like miracles and stuff like that obviously didn't happen, but I think he was like, I think there's records of him being like a dude that was killed, but it's like, because he was just going around chilling people out, talking to people,
spreading a different type of message.
Yeah. They were like, fucking kill this guy. We gotta get this guy out of here.
Yeah, have you read about how the theory that Jesus didn't die on the cross and that it was his half-brother that died on the cross and Jesus escaped to Korea?
His half-brother, James Christ?
Jerry, the brother of Christ.
Yeah. No, I've never heard that.
Yeah, there's like I think it might be in Vietnam. But it's Vietnam or Korea. There's a grave for Jesus Christ.
Oh, what? Whoa.
There's
wasn't
like
just some guy named Jesus Christ.
Maybe, but there's like a marked grave that they treat as like a holy site, but they're denounced by the Catholic Church.
Yeah, of course.
Because of that.
Yeah. The Vatican. I swear, like, that Catholics have, like, literally their own country inside of Rome.
Yes, that nobody's allowed to go into, and they have their own laws.
Yeah. What's going on in there? Imagine all the boy fucking that's going on.
The boy diddles.
Yeah. Jesus. Literally. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, so you have to be like a priest to go in there, basically?
I think special people have to be invited in by a certain ranking member of the church. Nobody just goes to the Vatican. You can't just walk into the Vatican. You'll get fucking murdered.
Yeah. They don't have like a tourist at the gift shop.
No. Trying to enter the Vatican is like trying to enter Israel right now. Like, just walking across the border.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Israel's a crazy place. Like, always surrounded by, like, a bunch of people that just want to take them out.
Makes you wonder, what did the Jews do to make so many different cultures hate them? Because they've been enslaved throughout our known history.
I don't know. Yeah, who knows? Maybe
going to like the prison planet theory, maybe they sold us out. Maybe their ancestors sold us out, and then when we got
they do like money.
Historically, yes. Maybe, but yeah, when we lost the Galactic War and our ancestors got sent here, maybe the Jews got double-crossed and got sent here with us.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be.
And then our ancestors are like, fuck those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, very likely.
It's like some like...
They told everybody, these are the bad guys.
It's like some Game of Thrones house shit, but on a galactic scale. And we just said, fuck you dudes from that house.
It's like Dune.
Yeah, it's like Dune.
Yeah, the Jews are the Harkonnens.
Oof.
Or Baron Harkonnen and his fucking Harkonnen, House Harkonnen, and everybody else was House Atreides.
Yeah.
Yeah, possible.
I hope of all the theories of like human origin on Earth, I hope that's the one.
The prison planet one is cool.
Because that one could like be confirmed if aliens just came out and be like, hey, your sentence is up, and we're like, what?
Yeah. I mean, that could be like all the monitoring too.
Yeah.
Checking up.
Every time we get a new form of power or new innovations, aliens show up.
What are they doing? But see, the thing is, though, like, I wonder how that would come into play, though, with the mass extinction events.
Maybe we get too big for our britches and they gotta put us back in our place.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm saying, like,
or maybe we try to escape the planet.
Wouldn't all of those original prisoners have died in, like, the first big mass extinction event after?
Who knows what type of crimes they could have committed.
Yeah.
It's just, it could just be, like, a sentence, like, we tried to, like...
I mean, like, naturally, like, when a meteor hits the Earth and, like I said, throws everybody, like we were talking earlier, all those people that were sent here, I mean, I guess there could have been some survivors, I guess, but... Or
maybe they weren't meteorites. Maybe we advanced to a certain point, had the ability to enter, like, space and all that, and then they were like, nope, you can't leave yet. And then they would come in and they would kick us back to the Stone Age.
I wonder why they would choose a place so far away, though.
Banishment?
Yeah, I guess that's true, and depends, how fast they can get here and their no ships and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and if it's like if it is like that theory, then as like naturally, like at some point they'd be like, all right, maybe they've matured enough, or maybe it's been long enough. We can try to let them establish contact if they can reach that point.
Yeah.
Which is why now, as we're going into space and all that stuff, they came to check on us. And then as we go further and deeper into space, like maybe we'll get more contacts and stuff.
Maybe. Or they'll show up and be like, no, still not time yet.
And kill us all.
Shit. Yeah. Yeah, let's... we blow each other up first.
Yeah, we're slowly heading that way.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's pretty fun. Everybody just keeps, like... And, like, it seems like people want there to be a world war. It's like, what are you guys doing? Like, can you not?
I mean...
Like, you basically brought us into another Cold War again. Because people were like, you know, fucking... whatever, Ukraine. And I was like, who cares? Fucking let them do whatever.
Yeah, honestly.
It's like... I mean, they're different countries. Why does it...
Why can't you just tend your own fucking garden?
Yeah, that's what I was saying yesterday. America's and many other countries too feel the need to fucking be the Captain America of the fucking world.
For no fucking reason. Just it's for pride. It's for stupid pride and for greed.
Yeah, money and
power.
Yeah, you think those at B, the powers at B wouldn't, want something like that to happen, but at the same time, I guess it's good for business. So,
war is the most profitable thing to happen ever.
Yeah.
For whichever side wins.
Yeah.
It's like I was telling you about that company that goes in and fixes countries after they get fucked up. They've been around forever. They've been around forever. Like they fixed Afghanistan, Iraq.
What is it?
I can't remember the name of it, but it's just like this big global construction company who builds like a bunch of crazy stuff all over the world.
Yeah.
Like pretty much, they built the Hoover Dam.
Okay.
Like the company that actually built the Hoover Dam, that like had all the people connected, was paying everybody who got paid by the government. They've been building stuff like that forever, rebuilding countries. So every time there's a war, they make a shit ton of money because they get paid by whoever to go rebuild that country.
Yeah.
And a lot of our higher-ups in the government have been, like, they're, like, interchangeable with CEOs or board members of that company, which explains why some of our congressmen and shit are worth $17 billion or whatever.
Yeah. You're not getting that for your fucking senator salary.
Of like $170K a year, which is insane. That's a lot of fucking money.
Oh yeah, to do nothing. Yep. It is, but yeah, I mean, like I said, if that was the flat rate, none of those people would do it. That's why I think obviously, lobbying and stuff.
We need a full reset.
Yeah. I feel like, it's something's in the pipelines for that kind of stuff. People are just way too at each other's throats.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's gone from, like, people tolerating, like, people with opposing viewpoints to basically, like, I wish you were dead. Like, right? Like, but, there's, like, they don't really just come out and directly say it. Nobody does.
It's like an underlying feeling of...
Yeah.
If you died, I would not care.
Yeah. Just like, oh, guys, that's cool.
There's no sense of, like, community, really, anymore.
No, which is, like... I mean, I guess if you guys want to go down this path, that's on you, but, I mean, humanity doesn't really continue to progress unless we work, together, but... And
that's why... If you have read into, like, the fall of Rome, or, like, the 40 or 50 years before the fall of Rome, it's
really similar to what's happening now.
Yeah, it's just on a different time, different technology, same symptoms.
I mean, yeah, you can't, like, no one in their right mind can look at the state of things and be like, yeah, I think we're going to be okay. It's like, I don't know, maybe. I mean, I know there's some people that also make up the argument that like America's in like a adolescent stage, which I've heard. Which I think McCusker talked about it.
Yeah, he did.
That's probably where I heard it, but which is possible. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, it's in that book, the next 100 years. That's what he was talking about it from. So do I.
Yeah.
But he's saying that what's supposed to happen is we're supposed to, in the next 10 years, spring forward in power and advancements and come together as like a country. Like something's going to happen that's going to bring us all together to like a glory stage, and then we're going to enter the golden ages.
Like technology-wise, or like a common enemy, or
like country-wise, like the whole country is gonna.
No. I mean, like the thing that happens, is it something that develops from technology?
I don't know. He didn't explain it that deep, but that's why I want to read the book. But he was talking about like sometime in the next 10, 15 years, America's going to come together. They're going to reach that adult stage, and they're going to enter the golden age.
I wonder what the hell I'm trying to think what could possibly bring people together at this point. Besides, either a common enemy or, I mean, I'm trying to think on a technological front what it could be.
I feel like it's gonna be a common enemy mixed with manifest destiny.
Yeah, and with a lot of old heads dying that are kind of sucking everybody down.
Yeah, new blood will get into the higher up systems.
Yeah. People that are more forward thinking.
Because it's already starting to happen. A lot of the younger Congress people that are coming in aren't really super crazy, and they're not super locked into one vote or one side or another.
Yeah.
It's the government's becoming more self-moderated, just through as people die and get out of Congress because they're just getting old.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be kind of slow, but it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah, which I guess why the 10 to 15 years thing would make sense too if you take certain ages into consideration.
Yeah, a lot of the real big higher ups are in their fucking 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because you're talking anybody that's 65 now, will be 80, which is, I mean, pushing your average life expectancy. So, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it for men? Like average life expectancy?
I think it's 85.
85
or 82.
Yeah.
But either way, I think that's going to be, and it's like a terrible thing to say, but I feel like that's going to be a big like relief on the economy too. Is if a lot of people that are old now and just suck in the economy.
Yeah.
When they die, that's going to bring Social Security relief.
I mean, there's always going to be old people.
Well, yeah, but that's why I feel like that's kind of why they keep crashing the market and resetting.
But a lot of it's the boomers. The boomers are like basically the main culprits when it comes to trying to keep things a certain way. Because they've had it comfortable their whole life and they hate change.
Yeah.
But yeah, once they start, biting the dust, yeah. Because people past that don't really think that way. Because they didn't have like a exploding economy when everything was, cheap and affordable because of, what the Second World War was, not too far the rearview mirror.
Yeah, that's another thing is that if there was like a major war like that, that is a ridiculous amount of economy boosting.
Yeah, that's true.
They would open up a ridiculous amount of factories. Because they always do.
Yeah.
Which is why after the war ends, there's always a mini recession, and then they bounce back with other industries. And then that's what caused the boomers to have a comfortable life. It was right after that bounce back. But we've kind of been stuck in a money pit for a while, so we haven't hit a bounce back.
Mm-hmm. But it's like even with the wars that's been going on, nothing's really made here anymore.
Exactly. But in the 100 years, it talks about how Russia's going to fall apart. So
yeah,
because it's just too big a country to maintain. It always has been.
Yeah, but a lot of it's just like empty, though, isn't it?
A lot of it's uninhabitable.
Yeah. because
But Russia's also not as big as the maps make it look.
yeah, I've always heard that. I don't know what their population size is.
It's less than China, but they're a bigger country than China.
Oh yeah, it's probably less than India too. India's fucking packed. Let's see.
Yeah, he's talking about how Russia's supposed to fall apart. There's going to be a land grab over there, and it's mostly going to be the Eastern European bloc countries like Ukraine that we're dealing with now.
100? No, it's only 145 million.
Yeah.
That's not big.
No, not at all.
We're in like what 330 or something like that.
We're getting closer to 400.
Yeah. Wow. That's wild. Yeah, the growth rate's been going down too. Negative 7.7%.
Because we're running out of land. But if you think about it, if we personally have to get into Russia and cause the breakup, we're gonna take our chunk.
The breakup, yeah.
We're gonna get everything from Alaska over to a certain latitudinal fucking point. Just because that's not that far a stretch. We have Hawaii.
Yeah, which is funny. It's just chilling out there in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, and then China's out here trying to make new islands to invade like international waters and expand their territory for their country, which is smart. Imperialistic.
Making islands?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
You just bring out shit tons of like rocks and dirt and sand, and you form islands on like reefs and stuff and ridges in the ocean, or things that could be an island but they're just not quite there.
Yeah,
because there are a lot of those around the ocean. So they've been doing that for a while now, and that's like a whole big issue that a lot of people don't talk about.
Yeah, I wouldn't think you'd be able to do that, but I guess, yeah, I mean, islands.
That's what they're not supposed to be able to, but they're like, well,
making land.
Yeah, I mean that's fucking.
I made it. It's mine. Yeah, I guess it's better than rolling in and stealing somebody's shit. At least you're making your own.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like they're just. I feel like they're doing it just to collect all the resources that are under the ocean.
Ocean's very big.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if they're gonna accomplish that.
I mean, they can get a lot more resources if they have a lot more land.
Yeah, but still, I mean, just it's so massive. I don't know. I mean, yeah, they could probably probably have a good amount of places, but I mean, there's still just the vastness. I think is just too overwhelming. At least in it would take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I mean, thousands of years. To like build enough shit to be able to claim all the resources out there.
No.
You don't think so?
No. I feel like at the way technology's going up, eventually we'll find. I feel like in the next 100 years we'll be fully like into the ocean. I feel like we'll have a semi aquatic society, just because.
That'd be crazy.
As the population expands, where else are you going to go? We're going to start building like superstructures either on the water or below the water, depending on the location.
Like Bioshock.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd probably be like on the surface. But I don't know, maybe not.
Like Camino.
Yeah. That would be cool. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that happen. I mean,
I feel like they're going to start projects like that in the next 100 years. They have to, because we're not going to be able to colonize Mars to a point where we can expand our population there.
Yeah, that's still a while away.
But Elon Musk, he's sending all these little fucking robots over there to build it.
Yeah.
If they can get the infrastructure started for us and get everything we need, we can let the planet terraform and then start colonizing it.
Yeah. I mean, they already, have like the first, they've had like the first like civilian, space flights and stuff like that. I mean, granted, it's only for super wealthy people, but, after, tons, I'm sure many years, that price will drop down to the common man.
We let Mars, if we can get infrastructure to terraform Mars up there in the next 20 years, and we let it terraform for about 100, it'll get to the point where we can start sending the first like test colonies.
That'd be wild to be the first one because you're not coming back.
Yeah. If like by some miracle I lived to be able to go to Mars at all, I would do it.
Yeah, we'd probably be at an age where we'd be close to dying anyways.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, send me, dude.
Because we're definitely not seeing, like, I mean, provided where humanity's around long enough, I mean, we'll obviously get to a point where people will basically be able to live forever.
And, like, older people that are going to die anyways will probably be able to get around easier on Mars because I'm pretty sure the gravity's a little lower because it's a slightly smaller planet.
Yeah. Doesn't that make you taller? When people go to space, they get a little bit taller because of...
Yeah.
lack of gravity.
So when you sleep, your spine decompresses and stuff, and you're about an inch taller when you wake up than you are when you go to sleep. Because when you go to sleep, at that point, gravity's been pulling on you all day slowly in an upright position.
Yeah, and when you're sleeping, you're just laying down, so it's just kind of pulling it down at an even level. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
this is a wild one.
It was. Yeah, I like the more interesting topics
more than just the bullshit that's going on and like
yeah, well, no, people hear enough of that already.
Yeah, we can talk about some wild shit.
Yeah, plus like talking about stuff, I mean, what's talking about current events gonna do?
Right.
Like nothing.
No.
Like, did you see what fucking is going on in France or fucking some stupid shit? It's like, whatever.
That's why I like the Dog's new pod, because they talked about Vietnam, and that was pretty sick.
Yeah.
I'm almost done with it.
Yeah.
I'll probably finish it after this.
Alright.
Rate 5 stars on Spotify. If you follow us on YouTube, the video will be up shortly. If you listen to this on Spotify first, you're cool. Fuck Apple Music.
Yeah.
Later.